Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup. We're playing this Demon Spawn Summoner of Ashenzari for week 7 of the Crawl Sudden Death Challenge. And in the last episode, we had a bit of a debacle with this Thorn Hunter. I messed things up a lot. I was just too confident in my ability to survive like anything at all. And I very nearly died. I mismanaged. Oh, is that a... I thought all these wasps were friendly, but apparently we got one unfriendly one as well. Okay. Well, I think we just attack this. We're mighty and it's distracted and we have this plus 10 sword. Yeah. Alright. And... wow, we regen magic so quickly compared to HP. From the Demon Spawn mutations. So, I don't remember exactly what I said I needed to think about. Like, I remember I said, I need to think about things for a while. And obviously, I could have, although it's kind of a pain and I don't like to, I could have done a little editing there on that fight and, maybe spliced out the part where I look like a total idiot or... well, not that, of course, but like slice out the part where I have to ask for help so that like the fight would go a lot faster, for example, and like just show you the things I actually did. Or I could have spliced together the last video and this one so that there's sort of a more continuous experience. But I do want these videos as much as I can to reflect basically how I'm thinking and playing, because I think that's a lot more interesting and useful than a slightly more polished experience. And so what I did think about while I was gone is that I just don't want to be in swamp. We almost died there, and we're out of like the really valuable escape consumables. Like we have a ton of teleportation, but we don't have any blinking. We only have the one haste, which I would kind of want to save anyway. So we would be at a lot of risk in swamp, and I'm just not very good at managing or recognizing the risk. How much risk there is when I'm like in an area more dangerous than where my character would normally be for that level is what I've learned from like my practice game and from that swamp experience there. This character feels like totally unstoppable in Lair, is my recollection of how things were going. And then in Swamp, I was just absolutely lost. So I am willing to just basically give up the bonus point for getting the rune at level 15 or lower, because even if my character is capable of doing it, I think that there's just way too many opportunities for me to mess it up. Is the executive summary, I guess. And we just got 6 stars of piety with Ashenzari, which is nice. Mostly it's just for the tournament point. I think the Ash's skill boosts do scale. Yeah, they scale a little with your... I was trying to leave that ghost alone, but alright, fine. If you guys want to fight, we can fight, I guess. What was I was saying something. Anyway, it's just too dangerous in there, and And I'm not a good enough player to survive it. I wonder if we can deal with this ghost or if I'm going to have to just, like, leave. Is he, like... He's not resistant to electricity, so that's fine. But we're not doing a lot of damage to him, but he's not doing a lot of damage to us either. Yeah, I wonder if this is just totally pointless. All right, we got him down to moderately wounded. And if he can get distracted, we ought to be able to get a stab on occasion. Yeah, I think this is going to go okay. He's got a lot of armor and a lot of evasion, but he doesn't really do any damage, so we've got all the time in the world to stack up damage against him. Please? Alright, I guess I'll put down the Lightning Spire again. Maybe that was doing more damage than I thought. Got him. So I just don't want to risk my... Well, let's see. I'm not planning to take the tier 1 bonus. Well, let's calculate before I decide that, right? I'm definitely not planning to take the tier 2 bonus, so that's 18 points available. And if I do skip the tier 1, there's 17 left, and I'm not really willing to risk those 17 points for the 1 point of... Like, to go from 17 to 18 is not as big a deal to me as going from, like, what am I at now? 4? Maybe even just 3? Let's see, sorry. I am at, 3 right now. You know, going from 3 to, like, even if the best I can do is 7, like, if I can't do any of the tier bonuses, which I think we can do better than that, I don't want to risk that for the 1 bonus point in snagging the rune, because I'm just not very good at it. It's just too bad. It's something I would like to get better at, but I guess in the middle of a tournament maybe is not the time for it. I don't know. It feels like something I ought to be able to do. But I guess that the way I play is a little bit more routine-based than I thought, in that, like, I sort of have, like, a way that I go through the game, you know, clear Lair, go to Orc, you know, and I've had a few games in the tournament where I have deviated from that, and so I kind of thought that I'd be okay doing it here, and, like, my only deviation being get 1 rune kind of early. But, I mean, apparently I can't figure that out, and I don't understand the damn danger levels. I don't know. Maybe, I guess I can't really diagnose exactly why that's so hard for me. Sort of grasping at straws for things that might be going wrong. Because this character is, like, insane, right? I mean, we just murder stuff up and down in Lair. Like, Ash is so strong, and we have this +10 short sword that just, like, kills things. So I don't know why Swamp, I don't know. I guess it went so badly just because of that Thorn Hunter, right? But I should have managed him better. I don't know. So I don't know exactly what it is about me or about this character or about the challenge that makes Swamp so hard. Because, like, right now I'm hardly paying any attention to what my character is doing. Like, we can, at least in that fight, right? I mean, there were a bunch of yaks, which enough that it could be a challenge for some characters who are here at this point in the game, but it really wasn't, given what we've got, a problem at all. Lair 8 is going to be interesting, and I guess that's our chance to reevaluate whether... Oh, there's another tournament point. Yeah, of course, for getting to the end of the branch. So it'll be another chance to evaluate whether we want to like back up and maybe after all go get a rune, assuming we don't like die in here, which I hope we don't. Do I still have a... No, I have no friendly wolves. All right. And I don't know. I think if we found... It's not so much about how strong the character is that would make me change my mind and decide to go runing again, as it is getting more escape consumables, scrolls of blinking, potions of heal wounds. That's what would make me change my mind, not like the character becoming overall stronger. Because I feel like the character is strong enough already to get to go in there and clear most things and run from the rest of stuff. It's just that I lacked the resources to deal with something I didn't expect. Arguably, I should have expected it, but I didn't, and then I couldn't deal with it. And that's something I can't really afford to keep taking chances on. So I guess that's sort of... That's what's wrong, I guess, is that I don't have the escape options I need. And I didn't even... Ooh. I guess that was slime. All right. I didn't realize when I found the Thorn Hunter how low I was on... Like, it seemed like I had plenty of heal wounds, but I didn't realize I had 0 blinking, which is a really big deal. I'm sort of used to having some at this stage of the game. I don't know. Like, I just found one, I guess, and never... And, like, I ID'd it by reading it, so I don't have any left. Does any of this pose a threat? Maybe. The Lindworm is kind of worrying. Let's kill him. There we go. That's the Lindworm, and now the axe should be no problem. Okay, so, I mean, we're losing a little HP here, but there's no, like, big spikes, which is the main thing to worry about. Like, the HP loss is sort of it's more a controlled descent than a crash. If we were to phrase it as an avionics metaphor. Is that the right word? Avionics? Like, you know, airplanes? I think so. And it's... You don't want to be losing HP, and it's dangerous to be playing around with that, but if it's going slowly and there's no threats around that will make it suddenly go a lot faster, I don't totally mind. What is all this stuff? I have all these scrolls of enchant weapon, which... well, I have one, right? Enchant... yeah, just one. But there's that Demon Trident of Electrocution, which I find it hard to imagine we could find a better weapon to enchant up than that. So I could conceivably use my scrolls of enchant weapon to get them out of my inventory. But really, I just have like way too many different kinds of food. I sort of wish there weren't so many different kinds. Let's drop like beef jerky, meat rations, pizza, and bread. Beef jerky, meat rations, pizza, and bread. And then take those off of auto pickup. Okay. Book of Cantrips. Sure, let's take apportation. And our summons are getting a little bit more powerful again. You know, for quite a while, I wasn't really training summoning. And so they had stalled a bit in how powerful they were. We had just sort of gotten to a point where they were strong enough. And they still sort of are, but... what is this? I guess it doesn't totally matter. Torpor snail. It's nice to be able to see that stuff coming. And just like prepare with summons ahead of time. We can present this unified front of a bunch of different summons. I would love to find like Azukuba's armor, for example. I mean, that's sort of like every caster's dream. I don't know. I mean, in Crawl, you don't really characterize a character as a caster or not a caster necessarily. Most characters want to cast some spells. Characters who do cast spells should also usually do other things. So you shouldn't... actually, I'm going to take a peek in here. It looks, if I had to guess, this is kind of shaped like... What is that ending? What does it look like? I'm going to just scry in there in a second, but I'm trying to see if I can guess what it is myself. It looks like it might be... Let's see, there's an ending here. This one kind of looks like the one with the Deep Troll Shaman and like his menagerie of pachyderms, but I don't think it is. Well, let's take a look. Ah, okay. So it's the kind of swamp ending down here, all right, with a few dragons and so on. Okay, fine. What is that? It's a hippogriff. Anyway, scrying is fun to have. Alright, so this is the Dogs and Bears cave, for sure. And the dogs are usually pretty easy, and the bears always surprise me in how hard they are, so I should be a little careful. Like, polar bears can sort of sneak up on you. Not like in the sense of actually sneaking up on you, but they're more difficult than I tend to expect. And that looks like them over here, probably, right? All those yellows. This stuff doesn't look too bad. And we're coming in here with like a top tier dog ourselves. I mean, you know, Raijus are tougher, but that's about it. All the other dogs are not really as tough as ours. Of course, ours is on a timer and just sort of disappears after a while, so that's his Achilles heel, I suppose. It's not a big deal. We just have to take this a little bit carefully, make sure to rest, and be ready for the bears thing to get a little out of control. Yeah, there's the polar bears. Oh, that's right, hellhounds are strong too. Alright, so one bear has, or no, that's the hellhound that found us. I'm not going to charge in there. That's the way to get swarmed. I mean, I guess they would... What's the verb for, like... I guess swarmed is kind of an appropriate verb still. But, like, it would be a better verb for like, killer bees, right? We could use, like, a buff potion here, but I think just managing the engagement is sufficient. Like, that lightning spire up there is doing serious work. And the wolf is... Alright. Yeah, the polar bears have a lot of attacks. I'm glad the lightning spire is positioned quite well. I'm happy with that. Alright, there we go. So that was, I think, the toughest moment we're going to have in here. A cursed hat. Well, yeah. I'll take it. Right? Great. We get some bonuses. We're now, like, all of our armor is cursed. I think the only non-cursed thing we have is one ring. Is that right? Yeah. Nice. And it's the first hat we found. Oh my gosh, this Raiju, please. Stop bouncing around. Okay, heal wounds. That's nice. That's great. Whoa, what is down there? More bears of some kind, I think. But I think it's getting... Our experience level is kind of getting high enough that we really can't get a rune without... You know, there's a bunch of polar bears in there. Without making it to level 16 first. If we actually wanted to clear swamp, we would out-level our goal. And if we didn't clear swamp, I think it would be too dangerous. And I think it would be too dangerous even if we did clear swamp, which is, you know, the conclusion I came to at the beginning of this video. Where's the polar bear? Oh, I just learned a new feature today, right? I can say, there's the polar bear. All right. Down there. Well, he's sort of stuck. I don't know. Let's just summon some stuff and see what happens. Somebody just made an... someone who is playing in the tournament and has been watching my videos just corrected me with something I said in an earlier video, which is I was thinking about, like, who might be good for Tomb, right? What god I could maybe switch to instead of Dithmenos. And I considered the Shining One. He's great for Tomb, right? If you want to fight stuff. But LDF has pointed out to me that as a demon spawn, the Shining One will not accept me as a worshipper, and neither will Zin. So that's actually not an option we have. If we wanted to, like, do Tomb, I feel like, and I feel like Dithmenos is the only. I mean, maybe we just keep Ashe, like, just because Ashe is pretty good and Ashe Wrath is pretty bad. But if we were to switch, Dithmenos is the only reasonable choice left. We can't switch to DsSu, which is too bad, because I do like him in Tomb and in Hell. Oh, drop B. There we go. Oh, I don't... What? Why can I not throw? Oh! I turned on the targeting for... I turned on targeting with the monster list. See this little A blinking on and off? So, like, if there were 6 monsters on the screen or whatever, then F would target the 6th one. But now I can't press F to throw, like, even though there's no monster labeled F. So that, I think, is, like, totally broken. That feature is one that's, like, so little known that I kind of feel like nobody has ever... it doesn't get a lot of care, attention. And it's not really polished. Somebody else noticed like that it doesn't work in some way or other. I don't know. If there's a largest number of monsters on screen, they get assigned numbers or letters that don't make a lot of sense. So I guess I'm just not going to use that. It seems cool in theory, but in practice it seems to be missing a lot of pieces. So here's like the main loot vault, I guess, just over there. And it usually has like some okay stuff. It's not like fantastic. But, you know, you're not going to do a lot better in Lair. No, I briefly thought that book was an electric eel. You know, it's... you know, I complain about tiles where like all monsters and items are basically indistinguishable to me, but every so often, you know, I have the same problem in console. An iron rod. Oh, that's cool. That's pretty good. It's too bad, like, I have my weapon cursed. But, you know, we can always uncurse the weapon later. Maybe even not later, but like real soon we could do it, right? Because it just takes a few more levels to get short blades up to 12, and then uncursing it would... I would like to keep my weapon skill at min delay, but that's not hard to get to. And the extra bonus is nice, but it's not that important. So you don't have to have all your stuff cursed all the time with Ash. That's kind of like the easiest sort of default choice. Akashic record. Well, that's actually quite interesting. Controlled blink. I guess since you have to do the orb run, you can't control blink with the orb. But dispersal and disjunction are both pretty good for that kind of thing, I feel like, right? Maybe? Like, just get rid of all the enemies who are causing you problems? Something to think about anyway. I'll just leave it here for now. We're not going to be able to learn it anytime soon. But it's nice to know we've got that option. Looks like we're about done with Lair. Right? We'll just hold down tab for a while and then be done. Yeah. Alright, that'll be fine for this video then, I think. Much shorter than like the first video of this series, for example. So it's so much better than the last one where like I just blundered through the swamp. It's just outside my wheelhouse, and I don't think I can do it without killing myself. So I hope you guys don't mind that. Next, I think we'll just go do Orc like a sensible human being. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.